ring. I feel like it'll be a little entertaining. I don't know how long he's gonna last in with these big shots coming at him, but hey, we only time will tell. You know, I'm not here to hype that shit. Not even my business. That's somebody else fish to fry.
Yeah.
You know, I got my own fish to fry.
Terence Crawford is not going to do anything to Canelo Alvarez. Terence Crawford, yes, he's good. He's a 4-division world champion, 2-division undisputed, but he couldn't even hurt Majimov.
Is that they think that Canelo is easy work because of the fact that he's flat-footed and he just kind of like, he does basic, I would say. He has basic skills, but he's really good at those basic fundamental skills.
Jermell Charlo says Canelo Alvarez will beat Terence Crawford because the key is how long Crawford can take Canelo's heavy punches. Crawford is already moving up in weight, which makes it tougher. Analysts also note Crawford couldn't seriously hurt Jermell Charlo, who isn't on Canelo's level. While Crawford dominated Errol Spence, this fight is different. Canelo is younger, more active, and a proven legend, making him the harder challenge.
10-0. They never got in the ring with anything like a Terence Crawford. They never got in the ring with a former champion, with an elite fighter. And he couldn't hurt. He couldn't hurt Majimov. Canelo Alvarez is no Earl Spence, ladies and gentlemen. I know that some of y'all are hyped because what Terence Crawford did an incredible performance and an incredible job versus Earl the True Spence that was supposed to be the big fish, and he turned the big fish into tuna fish on your outline, on your local supermarket. But Canelo Alvarez is not Earl Spence, my brothers. Canelo Alvarez is not Amir Khan. Canelo Alvarez is not Kell Brook. Canelo Alvarez is not Gamboa. Canelo Alvarez is not Felix Diaz. Canelo Alvarez is not Sean Porter. Canelo Alvarez is none of those guys, ladies and gentlemen. Canelo Alvarez is none of those guys. Canelo Alvarez is not the Mean Machine. Canelo Alvarez is Canelo Alvarez, regarded as one of the greats. And not just the Mexican greats. I don't like how y'all try to put it. Oh no, he's the best Mexican, because you don't want to say that he's one of the greatest that ever laced him up. Canelo Alvarez is one of the greatest that ever laced him up. Has carried the sport of boxing on his shoulder. And let me say it like this: leading up to the fight, Canelo Alvarez is more active than Terence Crawford. Canelo Alvarez is more seasoned than Canelo Alvarez is more seasoned than Terence Crawford. He's younger than Terence Crawford. He's more active than Terence Crawford. His resume is better than Terence Crawford. The people that he's fought is better than Terence Crawford. He's fought every damn style. He's fought the best Russians at the time with Kovalev. He fought the best Asian in Kazakhstan and Triple G.
Kell Brook favors Canelo because he is unlike anyone Crawford has fought. Crawford's win over Spence was great, but it doesn't prepare him for Canelo's strength, power, and experience at higher weights. Brook believes Canelo's skill set makes him a far tougher opponent.
You've got to sway towards Canelo. Crawford's going to have to, move up. And, I knew when I boxed Golovkin, there's a big difference, especially with someone that, fighting a middleweight, a mediocre world champion's okay. But when you're fighting someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to lean towards Canelo. But, Crawford's very, very, very good.
Do you think Crawford's still got the legs? Obviously, he's very much got great IQ in the ring, but he's very much a good mover as well. Do you feel like he's still got the legs to be maybe outmoving Canelo if he needs to?
Well, I don't know. I think when we look back at Mayweather when he beat Canelo, he's a mover. Crawford's not really like Mayweather in that aspect. He's more. He kind of sets his feet. He's cute with how he approaches chucking shots and moving. You know what I mean? I think it's a different fight to Mayweather, and Canelo's obviously a different fighter from when he boxed Mayweather.
Analysts argue Crawford may be too small to hurt Canelo. He's moving up almost 3 weight classes with little experience at 154. They compare it to Floyd Mayweather, who faced many elite fighters before Canelo, while Crawford has only fought Majimov at that level. Gabe Rosado adds that punches from smaller fighters don't affect bigger men the same way, raising doubts about Crawford's power.
I think that Crawford may be too small to really impact and hurt Canelo Alvarez. He's moving up pretty much 3 weight classes, which is exactly what I said. I'm not counting 154. He had one fight, bro. He had one fight. Floyd Mayweather got more fights at 54 than Terence Crawford. Boop. Because Crawford, he fought Madrimov. Floyd fought De La Hoya, Cotto, and then he fought Canelo at 152. So you had an aging Floyd who fought more times at the higher weight class, and Bud looks to be a bigger dude than Floyd Mayweather, right? So when Floyd was 37, he moved to 52 and fought a much bigger Canelo. Crawford's 37. He fighting Madrimov with 11 fights. Not the same. It's not. I don't care what y'all talking about. The Bud Buddy's just going to have to be mad at me because truth is truth. So that's a valid question. And again, I'll be glad when this fight's over. Put it that way. I don't care who wins. May the best man win. I hope it's a double knockout. I already told y'all. Just because I'm just over it, and I want to get back to some of the other fights. There's other fights that are interesting, and they make more sense. Like Brian Norman, Devin Haney. I'm interested in Yard versus Benavidez, etc. There's some fights we're hearing about, blah, blah, blah. So I'll be glad when this is over, to be 100% honest. There's more fights that actually fans have been requesting that matter, blah, blah, blah. But Rosado, he brought up a lot of good points. He was saying Crawford, he thinks he's too small. And he even gave his own personal experience. He said, like, I'm like 180, 190 solid. And when I fight guys that are welterweights, even if they crack and they're known for being like menacing, murderous punchers at the lower weight classes, 140, 147, them moving up, it feel like pillows when they fight me. When I get hit with their punches, it feel like pillows because I'm used to getting hit by triple, right? He used to Triple G work. He used to Lemieux work. So to me, this is kind of common sense, but common sense ain't that common, right?
Experts say the main question is whether Crawford can handle Canelo's punches. Many fighters have been slowed or stopped by his power. Some think Canelo looks flat-footed, but analysts explain his style is deliberate, built on timing and balance. By planting his feet, every punch carries maximum force. Crawford's defense may let him avoid shots for a while, but Canelo's patience means he will eventually land. The test will be whether Crawford can survive under that pressure.
Is Crawford gonna be able to take Canelo's punches? And is Canelo gonna be skilled enough to not keep on getting banged up by Crawford and his craftiness? It's like, you know, the battle of two greats, you know what I mean? So I believe that Canelo, you really see him, when you see him fight, he almost like got a one-way of style, and it works for him. He likes to get in there and bang you up. He likes to throw hard punches. He likes to break you down. He likes to hit you everywhere. You're gonna hit in your body, your arms, the forehead, the ear, the neck. Wherever he can land a good one, he's gonna land it, and that usually breaks him down. So with some fighters, I see is that they think that Canelo is easy work because of the fact that he's flat-footed and he just kind of like, he does basic, I would say. He has basic skills, but he's really good at those basic fundamental skills. He does everything almost like perfect. But yeah, he's flat-footed, but you got to realize that he also has hell of a head movement and body movement. He understands, and he's perfected at rolling with the punch thing.
Crawford's win over Errol Spence is remembered as one of the best performances in boxing. He showed speed, accuracy, defense, timing, and finishing ability, making Spence look ordinary. That night proved Crawford's greatness. Now, his training partners say he looks even sharper, with strong speed, reflexes, and conditioning. Many believe this is the best version of Crawford yet, something he'll need against Canelo.
Sharper than ever, more dangerous than ever, and most importantly, he looks like the greatest version of himself. Now, Can we actually believe this? Can Terence Crawford at nearly 39 years old, with him being inactive, with him being heavier than ever, is it possible that the man will actually look better than ever? Now, let's think about it, ladies and gentlemen. When you're talking about someone like Terence Crawford or Canelo Alvarez, you're talking about the elite of the elite. And if I'm going to be honest, Terence Crawford, when he fought Errol Spence, in my opinion, in all my years of watching combat sports, I'm a MMA guy turned into boxing. But I have never, ever, ever in my life watched an elite championship fight and had my jaw absolutely drop to the floor with the greatness that I witnessed. And that is the only way to describe what Terence Crawford did versus Errol Spence. In my opinion, that was the greatest performance in our lifetime. I mean, I can't go back to the old days. I'm not a historian. But as far as I'm concerned, that was the greatest performance I have ever seen in my life. And especially to who he did it to, Errol Spence. Dangerous southpaw. At the time, I believe he was pound for pound number 3. And Terence Crawford absolutely annihilated him.
Former middleweight champion Kelly Pavlik says Crawford must control the early rounds. He cannot let Canelo set the pace. Crawford should use footwork, combinations, and ring IQ to make Canelo work harder. If Crawford forces him to throw more and move more, he could drain Canelo's energy. Pavlik notes Canelo sometimes slows late in fights. Pushing the pace early could give Crawford a chance to win on points or score a late stoppage.
Stay in Canelo's ass a little early on. Put Canelo behind, right? Even if it's 3 out of the first 4 rounds. Because when Canelo has to fight, okay, when Canelo has to step it up, after 7 rounds, he starts to fade a little bit. We've seen that with Bivol. We've seen it in a lot of his fights with Triple G. You know, when Canelo could control the fight in the ring generalship, like, yeah, he could fight 12 rounds pretty good. But when Canelo gets pushed early on in the fight, he starts to fade muscle endurance-wise. So if I was Crawford, I would kind of stay in his ass a little bit on, you know, the early rounds and make him have to play catch-up in rounds 3, 4, 5. And then by round 7, that's where, you know, he could really step it up.
Dan Raphael says Canelo's experience gives him an edge. He has already fought smaller men moving up, like Floyd Mayweather, Amir Khan, and Miguel Cotto, and adapted to their speed. Crawford, on the other hand, has never faced a naturally bigger opponent like Canelo. Moving up against someone who is comfortable at higher weights is a new challenge for him.
Dan Raphael kind of made a great point when talking about sizes. Because he said, if you look at them two together now, they look the same size. Mm-hmm. He said, people have got the idea of the size thing wrong. It's not looking at them as a physical package. It's who has absorbed the bigger shots in the weight division. So, and it was good. It was a very good point. He was like, Canelo has been hit by light heavyweights and super middleweights for the best part of a decade.
Basically.
He's so used to taking those shots. Whereas Crawford hasn't. Crawford's been hit by 140 guys and 147 guys for the best part of a decade.
Yeah.
What's Crawford going to be like? So basically, he's trying to say, Canelo could easily absorb Crawford shots. Mm-hmm. Can Crawford easily absorb Canelo's punches?
If you're taking shots from Triple G, Sergei Kovalev, Dmitry Bivol, and you're staying on your feet, not getting hurt,
not even getting wobbled.
Not even getting wobbled, just literally shaking it off.
Yeah.
You can take Terence Crawford shots.
100%.
Right.
Mikey Garcia predicts Canelo can seriously hurt Crawford. He says Crawford's defense may not hold up against Canelo's power, especially his body shots. Garcia explains Canelo's hooks to the ribs and uppercuts to the body are devastating. While Crawford is very skilled, Garcia believes Canelo's raw power could quickly change the fight.
What happens when he takes a shot from Canelo? One of those uppercuts from Gia or those...
He could get dropped, or he feels it enough to be like, fuck this, I'm boxing. And then goes on the bicycle and turns southpaw for the rest of the night. And I wouldn't blame him either. Fuck it, you're gonna go in there and collect a fucking paycheck at that point.
Right.
You're not gonna go get hurt.
Right.
What good is it to get fucking 20, 30 million if you are fucking hurt physically, end up in the hospital and hurt just physically, life-changing, you don't want that shit.
But you think Canelo could hurt him? It could be life-changing?
Good, he's that big, fool. One punch could fucking knock him out bad enough to hurt his eye socket or detached retina. You never fucking know.
Right.
So no one wants that shit.
Crawford said if he beats him, he's in the top 3 GOATs of all time.
Oh, for sure. If Crawford beats Canelo, then for sure. you know, motherfucking props in the world, bro. And he actually does have a chance. It's not like he doesn't have a chance. Don't be too surprised if he fucking pulls it off in the decision.
Antonio is more hopeful about Crawford's chances. He says Crawford prepares mentally by visualizing his fights. His strength is his adaptability and intelligence. Crawford doesn't just rely on physical tools but breaks opponents down with adjustments. Antonio believes this fight is about skills, not weight. If Crawford follows his plan, his boxing IQ could help him overcome Canelo's physical edge.
Terence got to be Terence, bro. He's a real deep thinker. He processed fights like nobody else. And he's processed this Canelo fight. He's seen it. He went through it 2 or 3 times already. He knows how this ends. You can tell the way he shadow boxes. He visualizing Canelo being right there in front of him. You understand? Look at the movement. That's all you got to do. Look at the movement. And that's the type of master boxer that Canelo is going to be facing. And the only thing I say is Canelo hasn't faced an opponent like this in a long time. You know what I mean? I think Canelo's going to have to go back to the Caleb Plant fight and look that good, that active, that, you feel me, moving with that type of grace to beat Terence Crawford. Because weight ain't going to make the difference. It ain't going to be the weight. It's going to be the skill set.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates.